In 1646 BC, the island of Thera was the site of a volcanic eruption 100 times more powerful than Pompeii. This eruption coincided with the decline of the Minoan civilization and the rise of the Mycenaean civilization. Due to Thea's strategic location, the Mycenaeans, Wanex, has decided that it's time to rebuild Thera and has tasked you, one of its curators, with this responsibility. As you rebuild Thera, you earn victory points throughout the game. Time is of the essence. Thera rewards good planning and aggressive play. The curator who best rebuilds Thera to its prior glory will be victorious. Hi everybody, my name is Harry Jacobson. Welcome. Today is December 30th. This is almost the last day of the year. Almost. Of course, this won't be out. Today we're going to be looking at Thera by Zach Hoekstra, and it's by L4 Studios and Mr. B Games. It is for 1 to 4 players, and you are going to rebuild Thera after the big eruption. So let's get down and open this game. It is 30 minutes per player, so anywhere from 30 to 2 hours, depending on player count. And it says, warning, choking hazards. It looks like there's lots and lots of stuff in the box. This is a really heavy box. Well, let's go down and just show you the box. That's so far much easier. Here's Thera, right there by Zach Hoekstra. And it is a weighty little game. It's not a big box by any means, but it is fairly heavy, so there's suggests that there's a fair bit in the box. Well, I guess we need to open the box and find out, don't we? So we're going to open the box. And of course the challenge of this evening is to open the box. It is about, 4 o'clock. It's dark outside, of course, because we live far in the north and the sun goes down about 3 o'clock now, 3:30. We are on the other side of the longest day now, so we should start to see lighter days, I suppose. It'll be March, once we get to the 12 hours a day or so. Oh, okay. How do we open this box? That feels kind of interesting. Oh, okay. Oh, it's split. Well, that's not a good sign when you get a game and it's already split. Huh. Wow. Must have got tossed around. There's the rules. Oh, we have a quick learn to play. That's the second game this week that's had a quick, looks like learn to play. We've got we got tiles. Looks like we're going to build some buildings and build some pastures. Oh, there's the other side. So it looks like we have some green sides and some, what may be damaged sides maybe? I'm not sure really, because I'm not sure about this game at all. There is these are the player boards. So we got player boards. Oh. Okay, so there's 4 player boards. And I don't know what we're tracking here, but I guess we're rebuilding bits and pieces along this board. Are they all the same? Yep, all the same boards. It could have had a double-sided board and then had perhaps some asymmetric. We've got... oh, okay. There's the deluxe bits. So your ash looks like little charcoaly ash bits as opposed to just... Oh, there we are. Lots and lots. Oh, look, nice cubes and markers. We just have some cards here. And we have... So there's not a lot in the box. I mean, there's a lot, but... So we'll have to organize it all. And I'm not quite sure how it'll organize this. We have white and blue and brown cubes. These might be some sort of resources. I don't know. One of the reasons I backed this game was because I enjoy travel and I enjoy going to places like Thera. I don't know if we were in Thera, but we were in Santorini, which has a volcano right by it. When I went up and looked at the volcano, maybe if I can find them, and it's still active. So let's just take a quick look at these rules here. Got a nice laid out table of contents. That's always good. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the rules. It's saying where can we start? Well, if you're playing a 3 to 4 game, you can use the physical copy. If it's your first game, want to play the first game online, you can get the digital platforms. I don't know what digital platforms are available. It looks like there's a rondelle of sorts. And we have building tableau. Okay. Turn Overwatch. It is a worker placement game. Oh, there we are. Solo Thera. Which is what I'm really interested in, is the solo setup changes. Do not add the open industry event. Do not. Okay, so there's a bunch of things we need to do. So we're going to come back to that. But I wanted to get the box open and looked at very, very quickly. And it's a game that I am interested in. I like these historical games. Not quite as complex as perhaps Lisboa in terms of the complexity, which is good. Nevertheless, I do like historical type games. So, quick unboxing. We organized it. We unboxed it a little bit earlier. The rules are still on top. You can see things don't fit quite the way they did. Here are our player boards, all 4 of them. We have now got our playboard, and now you can see I've organized. We have our ash, we have our tokens, we have our money, we have some victory point markers, we have the various tiles. These are the things that we're going to build. These are for the solo, and these of course are for our various and assorted resources. Now they do look, I think they could have used better colors, or we could have put proper resources in here, because we have black, gray, we have sort of the gray and the brown and the blue and the white, and the gray and the brown under the right lights really don't look the same. Now of course this is a rather opaque container, but they kind of blend. If I was, older, more older than I am, perhaps that would be an issue. I don't know. But that's it. That's all that's in this box. I think I did a pretty good job of storing it the way it is. As you can see that it fits pretty nicely. Not 100%. Now, I will say, and we'll get to that in our final thoughts, that there are a couple of things that are missing here. One is a reference sheet. Now, they've done a good job sort of splitting it off here, and they've got plenty of description about, what the cards do in the back here. So they're not badly written rules. Just that when you come to the back, we have a building reference where this would have been a great place to put some iconology here. What do some of these things mean? In here, now you're just going to have to look up and do here. Here you're going to be dependent on this a little bit, because there's a few things in here that aren't in what should be in the rules. Like when you're building, when you're using your workers, one of the things you have to be aware of is that workers use water, and that's in this, but it's not in the main rules. Another thing that they also did in the rules, which might be a bit offsetting, is in the 2-player game, there's a slight variant when you're playing 2 or a solo, which makes sense. It makes sense when you figure out when you're playing a 2-player game that you're actually going to get 4 rounds between 2 players. So you're going to have a round where I'm going to do, all of us are going to do the global activities, and then one of us is going to do the standard activities, and then we're going to go and do something, and I'm going to explain how that works in a minute, what that do something is, and then we're going to do those standard things that everybody does. And then solo kind of does the same thing. Now there's a bit of a wording here where we're in one place where they say what do they say, standard as opposed to global. So it led to me a little bit confusion, and I had to really think about that, how that works. I says, well, what is a standard versus global? Is there a difference? No, I think it's just that the proofreading was not 100% here. So there's a couple ambiguities here, and hopefully that clears that up fairly quickly before we get into the game itself. So let's get at it. So here we are. I have set up Thera. You can see here is my island over here. Now I did have to make a change so that I've had to actually put this vertically here. You can see there's ash, and on the little spaces, let me just give you a little closer view here. So here's the board here. Whoops. So here's the board here that I'm using down here. Over here we start with a quarry, and you can see, just barely see that right there. You can see there's a little tile lay with two blues. That's water, aqua. And then over here we are going to start with some resources. We have 1 ash, but we have 2 sheep, 3 stone and a wood, and that's going into that space there. The number of ash, of course, is that you can see that right there. You can see that it tells me there's 2 ash here. Here you can see the types of buildings you can get extra victory points. So you're looking for like a red building or blue buildings, and you can match the types and get extra bonuses. And we're going to be building out our city, and here we're going to track our victory points here, and that's all that board is. And I just have it laid this way for purposes of making room on the board. Here is the main board all set up. We have our various orders. Now we have a trader area, the priestess, the worker, the planner, and the builder, and each of them start with 2 tokens or influence. And then of course we have our time tracker here. On the first turn, we are going to remove the first one, and we're going to put it into the area where we take our vase. It's not really a vase, agora. And agora is a pottery that basically generally has liquids in it. Not necessarily, like olive oil. And in fact, when I was in Greece and we went to a Crusader castle, I found a 1,500-year-old piece of agora clay just sitting on the ground. Of course, you can't take it. I had to leave it there, but it's kind of fun to do. They had upturned to build a sidewalk up to the castle, and all they did was put the artifacts to the left and right of the sidewalk. Pretty neat. So, but the priestess is the one that's going to trigger the taking of these off, and then they'll get redistributed. So every time we visit the priestess after the first turn, we are going to redistribute and take one down and then redistribute it. And this is a rondel. You can just see here these little lines. This is above the water line, so they say. Above the water line is the global things that you can do. So that when I take a turn, let's just say I'm going to go to the priestess, everybody can have 2 water. But only if I have 3 coins, per 3 coins I get extra water. So you want to accumulate coins, right? You don't spend them. But if you take 9, you can also take, if you have 9 coins, you can take another time. So you can make the game go faster. So if you get ahead, you can really push this game fast. Now, the only rule about placing the agora is that once it's here, in a normal 3 or 4 player game, it can't go back to the priestess. It is possible in a 5 player game for that to happen, or a 1 or 2 player game, because what we're going to do is redistribute. The way that turn works is normally I would take a turn, then a player would move the agora, and that's not how it works. In a solo game, what's going to happen is I'm going to move the agora, then I'm going to take my tokens off, redistribute them. Where the last one hits, I'm going to do this action here, the standard or global action. They use both terms in the rules. A little unhappy about that because it's just a consistency thing. Then what's going to happen is the solo bot, who will use this card, he's going to take the top card. He's going to move the agora there. Now, unless he's the priestess or a trader, a builder, the only thing he's going to do if he's building is he's going to start from the top right and just move across and come down again and again and again and again, taking buildings. There won't be that many buildings. It'll probably come up 3 or 4 times through the games. I'm going to have to try to do a lot of building because all he's going to do is take these off and they'll disappear, and he'll get the various and assorted victory points for those, as well as what comes up on the cards. So there's a variable amount. And then he'll do the same thing. Basically, he'll redistribute, and then we'll go over here, and then we'll take the global action. I'll take the global action. So basically, I'm going to get 4 turns. I'm going to take a turn. I'll get the above and all below. Then I'll take the next turn, just get below, above the line. He'll take his turn. well, I'll get the above the line. He'll redistribute and take the above the line again. So this will be ongoing. I start with 5 gold. So we want to buy buildings. Buildings cost resources. So if you look here, say I want to build a grove, which says that that I can spend, which is a worker placement basically. We can get water. We get a water. We can get a stone. So a worker is here now. Workers are abstract. So it's a very abstract game. There's no people. There's no meeples. So it's not really a traditional worker placement game. It's more of a, it is a Euro. There are no cards other than for the solo bot. But other than that, it is a Euro, but there's no worker placement. Everything is abstracted up. So really, if you land on a worker, which is here, you can take the action, which of course then would be to take a piece of wood. Now, in order to have that wood, you've got to have a water on the space, right? And it's the same with our pasture. Like here, here's our worker action. If you look at that, it's a water to get a stone. And you can see we start with 2 water. Now, we can only take basically 1 action with that. So, unless you're like a quarry or something bigger, then you might be able to hack a second action. But there is only 1 action. So, I would take 1 water, create the wood, and then I would use my we have planners who can move, and so you're going to certainly want to move stuff. You have a trader who can sell, and the port is here, so I can move things to the sell. I can get money. There is a money lender that I can buy who will give me 2 money, so that's always a nice thing, and it just happens. So it's good to keep lots of money. You want to build or buy. So if you have a trader, you can buy. You can sell or buy goods. And then, if you have 2 money, you can get a coin. And then if you have 5, you can do more and things like that. So we'll explain that as we get to them, because I'm going to have to use this learn to play guide, because this seems to be the definitive sort of actions that we can take with each of the types of areas. There is some inconsistencies between what this tells me and what this tells me. This tells me I use a water. This tells me I just get goods. So obviously, it is suffering a little ambiguity. We discussed that earlier. Probably going to need some errata for this game at once. I wish I could play it multi-handed to give you an idea of that, but I could probably squeeze out a 2-player game. But I don't think I could squeeze out a 3 because I don't have room. But I think this will give you a gist of how it works in terms of a player playing it, and it's a solo bot. But, the rules are pretty much the same, except the Agora is going to move according to different rules, basically. But that is the setup and the basic rules of this game. It's not very complicated. So with that, we're going to start our game. So we are ready to start the game, Thera. So one of the first decisions we have to do is, where do we want to move our Agora? And down here you can see where I have some resources here. I've got some sheep, I've got some wood, and I've got some stone. Here I've got some water. And the first thing that we want to do is probably want to build something here, and which means I would have to take a builder action. Now the first thing we're going to do is, for the first turn only, we're going to take one of these influence tokens and put it here. So we actually have 3. This is going to determine the power. Now one of the things we want to do is build something. So what do we want to do? We are going to want to build, and we have to look at sort of these buildings over here that are available to us, that sort of the top up. Whoops, this one actually belongs over here. So a lot of them are sheep and wood. So one of the things, I think the best thing we want to do is think about building maybe a pasture. We're going to need water there too in order to get more sheep. But so what we can do is buy a pasture. Now the way that works is we're going to take our agora and put it here, and the first action is we can build something. So there we are. We're going to build a pasture. It's going to cost us a stone, which we have, and a sheep, which we have, and 2 coins, which we have. Let's put that off to the side there, 2 coins. There we go. And then what we do is we basically place it right here on our board where we took the resources from. That's kind of nice. Then, if we have stone, we can actually remove an ash. So we can take our stone and remove this ash. This is worth 1 victory point at this point. We'll put that back. At this point now, we can go through the rest of these. Now, if I have 4 of these influences off here, I could remove another ash. So one of the ways I can do that is I could spend another coin as an influence, and then I could remove another ash. Now, the advantage of moving ash is that it allows us to move goods around our board easier, except for that spot which we can't move anything to or through. So one of the things we might want to do is remove this ash for 4. It did cost us a coin though, and we'll take that off. Now what we do is we go clockwise, and if we had 6, we could actually build another building. Unfortunately, I don't have 6, I only have 4. What we're going to do is take these 3, and we're going to start here, and we're going to distribute 1, 2, 3. Now, normally at this point in the solo game, what we would do is take our agora and move it here, which we're going to do, but the second player would do that. But in our case, we're going to do this, and the only action that we can take at this point is above the line here, which is a worker. Now, I could take this 1 water, and I can take, 1 water, and I can turn it into stone. Oh, these are gone, right? Because I used those. There we go. So that is as easy as a turn is. Now, at this point in time, it is the AI's turn, and all we're going to do is flip up a card. He is going to do a worker action, which we're already on. Now you can see here he's going to get 2 victory points and 4 victory points for every 1 victory point for every 4 influence that's on here. There's only 3, so he's not going to get anything there. We're going to play on the medium level. So basically what's going to happen is, now he doesn't really take an action. I get to take the top global action, which is the worker action. So I can actually build another stone if I wish. And that is it. Now what he's going to do again is actually, at this point, do exactly the same thing. He's going to go take his 3 and go 1, 2, and 3 and move his trader over there. Again, I can only take the top action. Now I can do a couple of things. I could take 2 gold, or I can buy or sell something. And over here is where I can buy and sell in the port, but I have nothing in the port at this point. But I could buy, but I have no money to buy anything with. So the only thing I can do here is take 2 coins. And that is the end of the turn. So here we are at our next turn. And one of the things we want to look at is, what do we want to do here? At this point in time, I would like to get water because I can't build any, I can't do work actions without water. But at the same time, I can't build anything without moving stuff. And the planner is the one that helps you move things. So you can see here, the planner can actually, you can move 4 resources depending on the number of ash. So in some cases, the ash is an impediment. So if I wanted to move here to here, I can only move 1 to here. And then if I really wanted to go to here, it would cost me 2. Now, if I had this here, then 1, I could go right there if I was in the port. But I'm not in the port. But I also want water because I also understand that without water I can't do anything. So I think what we're going to do, so 1, 2, 3, again looking at the rondelle, there's 3 here. So I'm going to come here. So my first move is that I'm going to be able to move my resources. Now I'm looking over here and going, well, there's a lot of sheep here, and we've built our pasture, but we're going to want to build some wood too, I think. So we're going to look at building this grove here. And it costs a wood and 2 coins, but I can't build that yet. But if I put a wood here, 1, that's all I really need to do. But I think what we want to do is maybe get some more coins. So we're going to move maybe 2. And let's take a look at what we might want to think of next. We have a sheep and wood, because we really want to start churning out some goods here. And stone does give us a lot of, doesn't give us much money. So wood is what gives us some money. So we might want to look at another grove. But we don't have another wood. So we only have the 1 wood there. We've moved it twice. We've moved twice. Now we have 2 stone here. What can we do for like 2 stone maybe? We could build another quarry. So let's take these 2 stone, and we're going to make, so we've put the wood here once, that's 1 turn. Move this, I think we won't move this yet. I think what we'll do is move these 2 here to look to build a quarry perhaps. And then we could look to build a sheep at this point. We can move 1 more if we want. Sheep will give us 3 coins. We'll put that in our back pocket for our 4th move. That is that. Now, if we have 2 favor, which we do, we could do 1 more move for every 2 favor. We could do 1 more move, but I don't see anything really worthwhile doing at this point. I can get 1 victory point for 3 favor, which is what we have, 1, 2, 3. So I can get 1 victory point. That is the end of the turn. We start from top to bottom, or bottom to top in this case. And then we redistribute 1, 2, and 3. And we can see that now we can get 2 water. Now, the priestess allows us to have water fall anywhere. So we're certainly going to want our water to fall here and here. But we have 3 favor. So another water is going to fall. And I certainly think that where we're looking to build a sheep farm, we're going to want that to fall there. And then, unfortunately, we wind up with a new time, because this should be here at this point. Remember, 1, 2, 3. Then we moved our time marker off because we went to the priestess. So we've done our 2 moves, but we redistribute again. So we go, take up our 5, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So our trader's looking pretty good right now. We could pick up some wood. Now, what comes over, we come back to our AI, who's going to get 4 points. He's going over to the planner. At this point, that's all he does. He's going to pick up this 1. And he's going to go over to the builder for his 2nd move. Now, he builds a building from top to right. So he basically just takes the grove. And that is our AI. We're just going to put that up here for now. We'll put it next to our, because he collects buildings and he gets victory points. Okay, that's what he does. Now, at this point in time, I can now build a building. Because I can do this in terms of that. And so I know that I want to build what did I want to build here? A grove. That's what I wanted to build. So I'm going to take my grove, and it's going to cost me a wood, which we already have here, and 2 coins. And I can use a stone to remove ash. So I can remove this stone to remove this ash. There we go. That's his turn, and then he redistributes. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is the end of the second turn. You can see right now the trader is looking at it as an excellent... you can see how quickly when you don't use something. And so I think trading is going to be our best bet next, because we could certainly get lots of coin for this. So I think that is what we're going to do. I'm going to move my guy over to here. So the first thing I do is I can trade a good. I don't really need... Or I can sell. I can sell a sheep for 3 or just take 2. Well, I might as well just leave that here for now, because I can take 2 gold for sure. Then we can come down here. I get 1 gold for every 2. 2, 4. So I get 3 gold here. And you can hear my dogs behind me. So I'm going to put 2 back. If we have 5 favor, we can actually import or export. So we can sell our sheep for 3 more gold. 1, 2, at 3. And I think for 10, which we don't have, I think that's a 10. Let me just check in the rules. And that is 10, and I don't have 10. We only have 9. That is it. So we've done really, really well. Or he has, because he's come to the trader. No, that's my turn. Sorry, the trader. Okay. So, at this point in time, we're going to take all our goodies here. And then we're going to simulate the next player, who goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's 7. That's right, 7. There we are. And it wound up on our worker. Like that. Lucky for us, we have water. So, for 1 water, we can trade this in for a sheep. We can save this in for a wood. And this will give us a stone. That's the end of our turn. Then we distribute. 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that was my turn. We're back to our AI, who goes back to the planner. It's 4 victory points, but he doesn't get any extra victory points there for yellow, because he didn't have enough on there. He can move 4. I can move up to 4 resources again. So this is the first. We'll stand that up just to know that it's the first of his turn. Oops. Actually, 3 resources. The first of his turn. Now, I have to look at what do I want to build here. I think it's time to start thinking about how to get into some of these buildings here. Certainly something like the build a wood here. And a purple. So we could build a purple. If we build a purple here, we can get the bonus here. See, we can get a bonus for that. But we don't have a wood there. So I think we're going to take advantage of this right now, and we're going to move that wood to there for 1. And we don't have a problem with transportation. I think a laborer. So we're going to want a sheep and a stone. So that was 1 move to move our wood here, and then we'll do a sheep and a stone over to here like that, because I think we're going to build a laborer. That is the end of our turn, or the start of our global tone for his. Now we're going to put that down, and we're going to go 1, 2, and 3. He's coming over to the priestess. Now, again, the only thing he does is he just takes up a spot. We can get 2 water. 1, 2. And let's continue with some... we'll get another wood. And maybe another sheep. Whoops, that's 2 water. And that's all I get to do. What he gets to do, unfortunately, after all this turn, is he gets to put another marker down like that. And that is the end of the turn. And that is our 3rd time. So you can see he's got 8 victory points already. Plus this is 2. So he's got 10 victory points. And yes. Now he only gets this one at the beginning, the first where he lands, so he doesn't get all those victory points. So we only had 3 there. So actually he does get 1 victory point. So we're going to give him a coin to say that that's a victory point. Because the first one, the planner had 3. Okay. So at this point he has 10, 11, 12, 13 victory points. I really only have 1, 2, 3, 4 victory points. So I got to be looking at a big move here. Now I can't go back to the priestess because this is the last one. So the only 2 viable spots I can go is the builder or the trader. Now the problem with the trader isn't horrible because I can get lots of coin. But if I go back to the builder with only 3, we could build another. Oh, and then I go 1, 2, 3. That would give us a not a bad move. We don't have a ton of water, but I think this is what we're going to do. And we don't have any. We have an extra stone, so actually we're good. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to come over to here. This is our turn. This is our first turn. We're going to just turn that up for me. This is Harry's turn. And what we're going to do is build. And so we're going to build, what did we want to build here? We wanted to build I would take 6 cubes here, would cost 4. Or I could build that, which gives me every 2 sheep. Or I could just build some victory points. And what's the bottom of that? So we need a purple. That's a purple? No, it's a red. So that would just give us that for, we'd have four wood. So really, I don't want to build anything here. What about here? Purple. I could build the wood here. Okay, so let's look at 4 coin in the wood, but I don't... Oh, I do have the wood there, so let's do that. So we're going to take our 4 coins and our wood, and we're going to build that here. It's going to cost us a wood. Okay, that's fine. That gives us an extra stone at the quarry, which is right there. That'll give us. Then we're going to use the stone to clear the ash, and we're going to clear the ash, I think, this way, because that makes sense to me. Okay, we've cleared the ash. At this point in time, I can go 3, 1, 2, and 3 to the worker. I can build another sheep. And I can build another wood for the price of water. And that is my turn. And we are here now. And we'll just move that there. It's his turn. He takes his first thing and he's a worker. So he basically below the line, he gets nothing. This is interesting. I've never seen this happen before. Huh. So he does get a worker, which we're already on a worker. Let's just take a look here. Let me take a look and see if the rules say anything. So there's one ambiguity right there. It doesn't really speak of what happens if there's no workers there. So I'm going to roll the dice, and we'll just count for the for our placement for our AI. I think that's perfectly. 1, he'll go right here to the planner. So basically, I will move. I can move up to 4. That is what he can do here. So let's just see here. We can move resources. We've moved that resource here. We could build a stone somewhere. Anything that has some stone. 6 stones for extra wood here. If we can build that on a 2. So I think... So you can see right away up here, getting to here would be problematic to get 6 stone up there. So we'll move these 2 and 4, and we'll start to think about building that there. And I think we'll keep our sheep and our wood here. I almost think I have to build another fountain, but I'm almost out of money too. Could go with the priestess. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a fair bit of water. It's moving on. So it is my turn at this point. He had his worker. I'm pretty much sure I want to go to the priestess. Oh my gosh, because there's lots of there's lots of opportunity for water here. Tons of water, but I also need to build more buildings. But I can't. Do I have anything here that I could build? The moneylender. Well, I could build. No, I used that wood already, so I really can't build that. I could build another quarry. I could build a moneylender, but that's a possibility too. That's 1 wood again. No, a stone is a carter, and 2. So maybe I'll build. The carter doesn't make any sense to me. The pasture doesn't make any sense to me at this point. And I haven't built. Did I build a laborer? No, the laborer is a sheep and a stone. It does make sense to me. So I'm going to build the sheep and the stone and build a laborer. So I'm going to go here to the builder. Yay! We're going to spend our sheep and stone and get our laborer. Now, laborer, when things trigger, he removes ash, which is good. Then I can spend the stone, which I don't have at this point. And then every 4 I don't have, and I don't want to spend anything. All they're going to do is redistribute. Come over to the trader. At this point, I got nothing I can't move, but I can take 2, and then I get 1 for every 2, so I can get 4 gold. 4 gold. That's the end of my turn. I redistribute. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then it gets to be the worker's turn again. He is actually going to the trader. So he can't stay there though. The rules state that you really can't stay there. So again, the rules state that he can't do that. Interesting. So I think for me, the house rule will be if he can't follow that, he's just going to take a dice roll. 1. So that's going to put him over to the priestess. The rules state, this is counterintuitive to the rules. So he'll also get 3 for every 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So he's going to get 3 more points. 3 more points. And then I can take the top action, which means I can get just 2 water. So I'm going to put it on the quarry, and wood seems to be popular. Oh, and I can clear an ash. So let's clear our ash off our bill over here. Actually, we'll do it over here, so we can start to move up more ash. Maybe build another big building. Okay, that's all I can do at this point. He is also going to take 1 off the counter. Then he's going to redistribute all of these. 1, 2, 9, and 10. You can see he winds up there again. So we'll roll the dice again. We're going to roll the dice again. We're going to use this box because 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The rules say that we can't be in the same spot. We'll roll it again. 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. He comes over to the trader. I do the top action, which is just get 2. So I'm going to take 5, do 3, and then we'll redistribute. 1, 2, and 3. I think at this point, I've shown you basically how this works. And we keep going, and at the end of the turn, basically, we're going to add up our victory points. You can see I have a matching purple, which I would get an extra victory point here. Basically, we'll add up his cards, the number of victory points he has, and that's how he gets his score. And I get them, and there's some money and resources. But that's basically how Thera plays. Fairly simplistic. Let's go up to final thoughts. Here we are. We are final thoughts for Thera in the solo mode. I played it in the solo mode. I went 3 or 4 turns, and I finally said, no, this is not a good solo game as far as I'm concerned. I think potentially it's there, but the mechanic here is not working. When it lands on a thing and says, oh, now I'm on the priestess again. What do you mean? I can't be on the priestess again. The rules say you can't be on that priestess. Now, in the solo mode, I suppose it could. I could have played it that way. But what happens when you don't have anything here? Like here, and it says, okay, I have no influence here. Does that mean I can only take a top action? Well, for me, it's not so bad. So, I think there's some inconsistency here with the solo rules. So let's talk multiplayer. I think that wouldn't have a problem. So in a multiplayer game, I think you're not going to see this problem. And so I would like to try multiplayer. In terms of the solo rules, if we start with the theme, I like the theme. Kind of a scaled down Lisboa theme where you're going to have to build your city up and remove the rubble, or in this case, ash. I love rondels like this. For multiplayer, it'd be great, because then if you don't have an influence token on, why would you do that? You can see it quickly goes. I mean, every time it lands on the priestess, we're going to remove a timer. So that's going to go. But I think at the end of the day, this game is not a solo effort. So the theme I like. The rules for solo, the main rules, the core rules are very, very simple. Move your agora, put it on a spot, move it onto the spot, take some actions, then the next person would move it, take some actions, you would get some actions, and then we just keep going until this timer runs out, then add up your victory points. That's pretty straightforward. So that's multiple player. But again, solo player, there's inconsistencies with the rules that just doesn't work here in terms of what I believe this system could be. You'd be better off just rolling the dice, Okay, he's always going to move to the one with the greatest number of fours or something, and then he just moves. And I don't know. I don't know, but I've seen it. Some things in the cards that I'm not liking, which is we're going to go to a blank one with no influence, which doesn't really bother me, I suppose, from a solo play point of view, because I only get the top action. But when you're saying, okay, I'm on the priestess, and then I pull a card for a priestess, he doesn't move. I suppose from this point of view, it really doesn't matter, but it's inconsistent to what the rules tell me in the core rules. So it goes against the core rules of the game. And they should point that out, that specifically that says, if you pull the priestess card when you're on a priestess, or the same thing, you just stay there and you do the action. It didn't state that. So, again, then there's the ambiguity of, well, do I move? Do I not move? What do I do here? Okay, so I would say there's inconsistencies. The theme is good. The rules are easy enough. The setup is easy enough. Replayability, I think there's a lot of potential for replayability in multiplayer game. Solo game, I don't know. I have a feeling that you're going to want to be building out these buildings first and then going after these purple buildings. And so I think at some point it's going to be a same old, and because it always starts the same way, the only variant really is going to be what comes out on the cards. And I don't think that's a horrible thing, because basically you're getting one full turn and three global turns. So you're getting a four-player game in 3 players. You're almost better off maybe playing a 2-player game that way, and then playing two-handed maybe, or figuring how you could play a two-handed AI maybe. That might be an interesting way of doing it, where the AI actually plays and then has his own board and has his cards, and he just starts building out by some rules that says, oh, we're going to always remove the lotus ash, we're always going to put water on these things. I think there's some potential here for some better solo rules. The game wasn't expensive. I think it was around $40 to $50, which means there was shipping. Definitely not a $60 game. Now, a $70 game at this point. That's what it would have cost me, probably $70 to $80 US. This is not a $70 or $80 US game. If it was coming to Canada retail, it'd probably be about $40 to $50. I could buy that at $40 or $50. Definitely not really worth the upgrade, just to have a few resin tokens and an Agora that looks like a real Angora. Everything else, the components are fine, really. The cardboard's fine. The money could have been deluxified. These cubes could have been deluxified, but that's about it. All in all, from a solo effort, it's a failure. I'm maybe 4 out of 10 the way it plays today. It would not pass. And I bought it specifically for solo. And it's a shame that the solo mode is really not that good. So unfortunately, I'm going to give it 2 thumbs down for solo mode. Now, I hope to play this weekend. I'm going to bring it with me, and I'm going to play it multiplayer. And then maybe what I'll do is build a quick 5 or 10 minute video around the multiplayer game. But for now, I am out of here. My name is Harry Jacobs. I am the North of 60 Gamer. This is the North of 60 Gaming channel. And please leave your comments below. Have you played this solo? If you have, let me know how it goes. If you played it multiplayer, let me know how it goes. I'm saying right now, if you're a solo player, skip it. Please subscribe on your way out. Hit the swirly subscribe, which really means go down and hit it in the bottom, because you can't really hit the video. And let me know. I really appreciate that. And you can enjoy my dogs barking in the background. Later, everybody. My name is Harry, as I said, and subscribe.